Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Anthony Joshua is continuing his training camp for Kubrat Pulev, and obviously he is working on probably being a little bit bigger this time, so we can see him using a lot more weights. Maybe not so much more than he has done before, but ultimately I think that he will want to be bigger, stronger and more powerful in there with Pulev. Now Anthony Joshua is a powerful puncher, so being heavy or being a little bit lighter isn't going to affect that hugely, but what it does affect is his ability to work on the inside, because the thing is with Kubrat Pulev is he isn't going to want to work on the inside, he's going to want to hold. So what Anthony Joshua needs to be able to do is when Kubrat Pulev wants to hold on the inside and smother his work, which he will want to do, Anthony Joshua needs to be able to work out of that. So being a bit stronger, being a bit more heavy will help him and benefit him in this fight with Pulev. If he's going to be a fleet-footed boxer like he was in the Ruiz rematch, then being a bit lighter does help him and benefit him a lot, because what that will do is allow him to have that gas tank going through the 12 rounds to be able to box on the back foot and prevent lactic acid from kicking in. So what Anthony Joshua was doing for the Ruiz fight was bringing his weight down. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's bringing his weight back up for Pulev. I wouldn't imagine there's a certain weight that he wants to get to for the Pulev fight. I believe there was for the Ruiz fight. This time around though, it's more about just being strong and around 17 stone or 17 and a half at the highest. So I believe that Anthony Joshua will be a bit bigger this time as opposed to last time, but not like 18 stone or anything like that, because he was like that for the Klitschko fight and for the Takam fight, and that was probably too heavy. Although in there with Klitschko it did probably benefit him with his punch resistance, although it did kind of play a factor in his fatigue going late into the fight. So it is a balance. Obviously he wants to have that punching power, which he does kind of have whether he's light or heavy. He was still able to hurt Andy Ruiz Jr. at 16 stone, 13 pounds I believe he was. So he has proven that he still has that kind of power no matter what he weighs. And it is about punch resistance also, but I believe particularly in this fight with Pulev, it's mainly about being able to work on the inside, because I think that that will be key for Anthony Joshua. He doesn't want Pulev holding, tying him up, smothering his work when he wants to work on the inside, because this time around, Anthony Joshua will want to be working on the inside as opposed to boxing on the outside and working off the back foot. I think that in there with Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua will be a lot more comfortable making a fight of it, because in there with Ruiz, he was having to box, whereas this time, Kubrat Pulev will want to box Anthony Joshua, so it will kind of be the other way around. Kubrat Pulev will want to box with Anthony Joshua, whereas Anthony Joshua will be looking to make a fight of it. Not in the sense that Anthony Joshua abandons his boxing abilities and the fundamentals, but to the point where he does want to rough Kubrat Pulev up and work on the inside instead of holding and being tied up by his opponent Kubrat Pulev. So I think that Pulev needs Anthony Joshua to box with him. What Anthony Joshua needs to do is make it rough, make it tough, take it to a place where Pulev does not want to go. Like the Vladimir Klitschko fight for Kubrat Pulev, he was in a position where he did not want to be in that kind of fight. Yet, he did adapt quite well, so I'll give him credit for that. Yes, he got knocked down continuously and completely laid out in that 5th round, but he done well to get to that point considering the punches that he was taking. Now, I do not expect Anthony Joshua to go in there guns blazing looking for a knockout, because I don't believe he will do that. I think that he's past that. So I do expect him to be jabbing, to be looking to box in the early stages of the fight, just to have a look at Kubrat Pulev. But the thing is with Pulev is he fights at a rhythm. He doesn't get tired often in fights, and that's because he does fight in those stages. So he will choose when he wants to work, and he is quite precise with his punches and he doesn't waste them. So that is why he doesn't get tired, because he fights at a certain rhythm. So what Anthony Joshua can do is to take him to a place where he doesn't want to go, make him work when he doesn't want to be working, because you can guarantee in this fight, Kubrat Pulev will tire before Anthony Joshua. He started to get tired and fatigued in the Vladimir Klitschko fight, and the reason for that was simple: he wasn't in control. If a fighter is in control, then they are able to go and do 12 rounds. Most fighters are, because they train for it in their training camp. It is very rare that you will find a fighter that cannot do 12 rounds. But what you have to remember is if you add the crowd there, which obviously won't be there in this instance, but if you add that, the nervous energy, and especially if the fight isn't going the way you want it to go, then that doubles the nervous energy. So that means a lot of the energy being burnt by the fighter who is not in control of those fundamentals, a lot of that energy is actually nervous energy. They could do the 12 rounds, but it is the environmental factors of that certain environment, such as the crowd chanting Anthony Joshua's name, which obviously won't be a problem for Pulev in this instance, but would have been in the Klitschko fight. Then again, if he's not in control, that will take a lot of energy from Kubrat Pulev, just as it did in the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Anthony Joshua suffered from that in the first Ruiz fight. He wasn't in control, and therefore got tired very quickly because he was burning nervous energy. Whereas if he is able to take control of those things early on in the fight with Pulev, then he is able to dictate the fundamentals, the tempo the fight is fought at, and the distance also, two things of which are very important in a fight of this magnitude. Kubrat Pulev is a world level operator. Anthony Joshua is an elite level fighter, so Pulev is coming up to Anthony Joshua's level, a level he's only been to once. So Kubrat Pulev, yes, is the older man, but it's not just about that. I don't like to look at just age, because I think that many fighters do actually improve more so as they get into their later 30s. Look at Carl Froch, prime example. Some of his best wins came in his mid to late 30s, so age doesn't really play a big factor in my opinion. I think that if you look at the experiences of the fighter, so if you look at what Kubrat Pulev has been through, then look at what Anthony Joshua has been through, and the clear difference is the level of opponents they have been fighting, the level they have been operating at. Pulev has been to this level once, and he came unstuck. Anthony Joshua has been at this level for the past 4 years, and he has continuously fought tough opponents back to back, and that will be the difference, I believe, in this kind of fight. Anthony Joshua will be more relaxed in a fight of this magnitude. Kubrat Pulev won't be so. And I believe that that will be a big difference in this fight. Anthony Joshua will feel comfortable at this level. Kubrat Pulev has to raise his game, especially from his last opponent. So all in all, I think that we can expect to see a bit of the old AJ where he will be looking to get a knockout, but I think that it will be educated pressure, and I don't think he will allow Kubrat Pulev to settle into this fight, because he doesn't need to. He can dictate certain things in this fight that Kubrat Pulev cannot control, and I think that being a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, building that foundation will allow him to work more on the inside, as opposed to being smothered by Kubrat Pulev. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.